not the best angle, but I'm sitting here just brainstorming and learning, honestly, about relationships with Christ. And it just kind of hit me, and I wanted to share it because it's one of those questions that really makes you think. When you are in a new relationship, a friendship or work-related relationship, I think it's quite common to get to know people through asking questions about them and learning about their life and learning through actions and spending time together. You learn about people that way. And yet, I know when I was much younger, I always knew God existed, but I didn't spend time really getting to know him. And I thought most recently, this was probably a few years ago, in regards to obedience to Christ, I thought, well, how do you obey him? What are the how-tos of this? Because, for people that, I was raised in the church, but also there are maybe just missing pieces sometimes. It's not every church, and it might not have even been on my church as much as it was on me not being willing to learn. Talk about Proverbs, that kind of is, it's very relevant. Proverbs 1:7 says, the beginning of knowledge is fear of the Lord. So if you're in a point where you're starting to kind of explore faith or Christianity, I think the best thing you can do, I'll say it time and time again, the best thing you can do is pick up your Bible and read it. But sometimes we need a little more direction in that regard. I've probably told you before, but one of my pastors at our church now in the new members course had said, if you want to get to know Jesus, you read the Gospels. The Gospels are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. That is those are the books of the Bible where you'll actually read words that Jesus said, and you'll hear from people who walked with Jesus. And so if you're going to get to know faith, you got to start with getting to know God, right? And so learning about him, learning his character, learning that he is a God that is loving and just and merciful and faithful. It goes on and on and on. But those are God's character traits. And I just think it's useful to really get to know him. If you're going to explore faith, you start with your Bible, you pick it up and you read it. Even if it doesn't always make sense to you, you still do it. And you get those questions answered. You get to learn who God is and what his purpose is for people. And I think with anything kind of new, it's very exciting, but it can also be a little overwhelming. So go easy on yourself, but learn about God. Learn who he is, what his character is, what he says, what he calls us to do. All of those things. He creates us in his image. So that right there, I would imagine, says that all of us are loved. All of us have purpose. There's no reason to be created if you're not going to have a purpose, right? And yet you were created. I was created. And it's a beautiful thing if you think about it. So anyways, I was just brainstorming as I'm making some broccoli to go along with our steaks. It was funny because I think it was last week. We always have steak for Valentine's Day. We do a picnic. It's our tradition. And it dawned on me because my husband said something about, it would be really nice to have a steak. And it dawned on me that we hadn't had steaks since Valentine's Day this year. So we made some last week, and now we're making them again. And we'll probably, we do have some in the freezer now too, but I can assure you, steaks are expensive, and so we're not going to be indulging in them every week, but it's kind of fun to to have some good meat and broccoli, and then I'm going to make some garlic bread to go with it. Garlic sourdough bread. So anyways, that's our dinner. Usually we have baked potatoes too, but we're kind of doing it on the fly tonight, and I don't have baked potatoes, so we're going to do the sourdough garlic bread instead. Anyways, I'm starting to ramble, so it's time to go. Have a great day. Get to know God and get excited about what you learn, because it's really miraculous. It doesn't matter how old you are or how long you've been a believer. When you start learning God's character, it's exciting. So anyways, have a great night.